Alright guys, another quick episode of Contractor Diaries. I went to Door-to-Door Con a couple of days ago and saw Sam Taggart and Ty Bennett. A bunch of other people speak, Ashton Buswell, if I'm saying that correctly. And then Casey and I forget his beautiful wife's name. I saw a bunch of speakers. I wrote all their names down in my book. And I filled up half of a notebook full of notes on leadership. And of course I came away with a whole list of to-do stuff to get done. Action items. We have one credit card. I just want to tell you guys an update on everything currently. So we have a credit card. I learned this type of credit card is called a charge card. I did not know this type of card existed, but what it is everything you charge to it in a 30-day period, that is how much you pay on it total every month. And so if you set it up to pay the minimum payment every month, it will automatically pay the total amount that you charged within the last 30 days. There is no like minimum payment of like $100 or $300 or $200. So since we're an HVAC company, we will frequently buy equipment for jobs, and sometimes equipment is $3,000, $6,000, $10,000. We buy equipment for jobs, and then we go and do the jobs, and sometimes we don't get paid for 30, 60, or 90 days. So we obviously calculate the interest rate for the credit cards into our pricing and everything as part of our overhead. But I didn't know that this credit card was gonna charge me the full amount, and so it charged me $10,000 as the minimum payment, and it is just going crazy right now because the checking account that it tried to charge it from didn't have enough money in it. I have multiple checking accounts, so I have the income and operating account where all the money goes in and we pay like a lot of our bills out of, like most of our overhead bills and stuff. Then I have a COGS account, which is fuel and parts for jobs for our service department. Like our technicians have a debit card to that checking account, and we make sure there's a certain amount of money in it every morning or for the week or whatever. And if they have to buy parts over $200, they call the office for approval, and then they have daily spending limits, blah blah blah. So they can use that debit card to buy parts and fuel for themselves. I'm still trying to figure out the gas card thing. I got a bunch of recommendations from my friends on Facebook on how to get like a fuel card account or whatever. I just haven't had time to like sit down and like apply for it or like talk to the people that offer that. I just literally don't have the time. I'm guessing it'll take 90 minutes to do some sort of sales call with someone, and then another couple hours to get the application filled out and submitted, and questions and back and forth and onboarding and blah 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 blah. And I literally just don't even have the time. So we're just using a debit account for now. And then I have other checking accounts, like Profit First style. So we have an account for profit, and an account for taxes, and an account for emergency, and then an account for vehicle maintenance. So like oil changes, tires, if the transmission blows up. So we have these different checking accounts, and they don't all have a lot of money in them all the time. Like sometimes the profit account is just completely empty because if I need more money, I move it up, which is fine. So right now, since we're a small company and we are like basically like self-funded, other than I did take out a couple of loans. We're not like private investor backed, or like we didn't get like big money from like investors or anything. We don't have any equity partners or anything like that. Like we took out a couple of small loans during a slow time. So what happened is that one credit card, the charge card, charged one of our checking accounts for $10,000, and it went negative $10,000. And I didn't know a checking account could go negative $10,000, but I found out. And so it sits like that for like 4 days, and then it eventually will like bounce back to the credit card. It'll say like, oh, there's no money in this checking account, so we're gonna like reverse the payment and send it back. And then of course like like an overdraft fee, $35 or whatever. And it will do this like multiple times. So it will do it like as soon as it bounces back to the credit card, it will try the next day to pay itself again on the checking account. And so now there's like $10,000 that's like stuck, like just in limbo, because now I don't have the cash in my checking account and I don't have the available credit on the credit card, and so I can't use that money until it stops bouncing back and forth. But it's stuck in some like automatic loop, and so I had to just call the card, or I had to just close the card. I went to the bank and closed the card and made it so that it stops doing that. But what's really frustrating is the guy sold me this type of credit card back in June of 2025, and it wasn't a big deal because that was summertime and we had a lot more money in that account, and I didn't even really notice it, but it was paying itself in full every month. I didn't even notice it. And so we're in wintertime now and don't have as much money, and so I notice it. But when I went to the banker and told him like, hey, this other banker sold me this credit card and he told me that I could set it up as minimum payments like $100 a month, $200 a month, he lied. He either didn't understand it or explained it wrong. But I asked him multiple times, I'm like, are you sure that this is a credit card that you can do a minimum payment on? Because he was kind of talking about a type of credit card that you pay it all off in full every month. And I was like, well, I don't want that. Because of the way our business operates, we need, net 30, net 60, net 90, like for our jobs basically. And he was like, oh no, you're good. And then I told this other banker, I got a new banker because that one obviously was no good. And he just laughed at me. He was like, oh yeah, I can't believe he did that to you. He does that to everybody. Like, that sucks. And he didn't offer me like any solutions. I brought it up twice to him, like a couple months apart. Like every time I go into the bank, I bring it up like, hey, I have this problem. There's this credit card that charges me the full amount every month. How do I get it to stop and just be like a regular minimum payment like every other credit card that I have? And he basically just laughed at me until finally I talked to his manager and I was like, can you fix this? Like, he has not offered to escalate it. I can't really get anywhere on the phone with anybody. And so he figured out how to fix it. He basically had me turn minimum payments off, and then we had to close the card and turn it into a loan. And so I'm paying it back now. It's a loan, $300 a month, paying it back. And instead of it trying to charge me $10,000 a month. But the thing is, I just did that yesterday where I turned it into a loan and closed the card. There's still that $10,000 payment that's like stuck in limbo. And so it just like made everything a mess. And so I don't know if that information is helpful for anyone. Maybe I'm just a big, huge idiot and I should have known how a charge card works, but I didn't grow up around people that had sophisticated financial situations. Like, I grew up literally in the ghetto in a 400 square foot apartment, like surrounded by like trap houses and drug dealers and crimes and night walkers, and people hardly even had a debit card and a checking account because everyone was on like child support or like wage garnishments and stuff. So like for me, I didn't know. So hopefully that helps somebody. Maybe not though. Maybe I just sound like an idiot. But yeah, a big common problem with contractors, and a big reason why a lot of contractors go out of business, is because of cash flow. So remember earlier when I said like, oh, in summertime we have more money, and then in wintertime we have less money. When my husband first told me about that, he's like, we work in HVAC, so we're going to have more money in summertime. We need to make it last through wintertime. I underestimated him. And like, when times are good and you have a lot of money, you like might buy more things for the business than normal. So I definitely learned my lesson there. And so now it's all about just conserving and just getting through winter. But a lot of contractors don't make it through stuff like this, and it's because they're not able to make quick decisions, and they're not resourceful, and they're not willing and able to learn quickly and make decisions quickly. I've been able to keep us afloat because I've been able to implement changes into our business that boost revenue, to basically get us through slow times. Like, we just lost a huge marketing channel. It's a networking group that we have been a part of for like the last 2 years. I spent 2 years building up my network and basically training every single person I know to tag me when they see anyone talking about HVAC or plumbing. And the leader of that group has suspended us temporarily. And anyone that tags me, he's messaging them privately and saying, that company's not a part of the group anymore. You're not allowed to tag them or recommend them. And so those people are afraid to get kicked out of that group. And so they're not tagging me anywhere else either, like in other Facebook groups either, because they're afraid to make that leader upset. So we should be getting back into that group here soon, which would be really nice. And especially since we lost so much of our revenue, like losing like literally half of our customer base by losing access to that Facebook group. I never expected that to happen. Like, even if we got kicked out of the group, I didn't expect that the people that we normally work with in there would also like not tag us anymore. So that's been really painful. But yeah, that's basically what was on my mind today. I did film some videos for an ad. The advertisement is to download a free furnace replacement report, and it's a free report for homeowners to determine whether or not they really need to replace their furnace or not. And it's supposed to prevent homeowners from buying a new furnace if they don't need one. So it's supposed to arm them with knowledge and protect them against like salesmen that are trying to sell them a furnace that they don't need. So that is a free report that we're going to be sending through a Facebook ad, basically all throughout Utah, just trying to empower the homeowners. It's just like an educational, like 10-page PDF that just explains all, like, how to make that decision. Like, if this part is broken on your furnace, this is how much it would cost to repair it. And if your furnace is this old, this and this, and you know, in this situation you should replace it, but in this situation you should repair it. So it just gives an honest look, like through a technician's eyes, of whether or not to repair or replace. So I spent a couple hours filming that today. That was great. And I got tickets to go to the Standard Plumbing Supply Sales Con event. I think it's in Sandy. It's down by, maybe it's in Orem. I know they're doing a CEO tour at any hour, and then they're going to start the event. And then there is a special CEO dinner, I think, at some point. So I got tickets to go to that. It's February 9th. If you guys want information, it's here in Utah, February 9th and 10th. And I can get you guys the link for tickets to that. I'm not an affiliate. I just really love SalesCon and Standard Plumbing Supply. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.